I had to do a glue up, kind of a simple one. These are just half-inch cedar boards, but I wanted to make a panel out of this, and I'm always fussing with pipe clamps and cauls. It seems either the caul is in the way or the clamp is in the way, or one way or another they're hard to work on the top and the bottom. So I came up with the idea of just drilling some holes in a piece of scrap and clamping it to my bench top. Like a lot of things, I've got scrap wood laying all over the place. My clamps, these are just half-inch clamps, so the outside diameter of the pipe is probably about 3/4 of an inch. So I drilled some 7/8 inch holes in a piece of scrap lumber, and just with C-clamps clamped it to the edge of my bench, and simply shoved the end of the pipe clamp into the hole to hold it upright so that I could pretty much stack the boards rather than laying the boards down on the pipe clamps. If you snug the board right up to the edge of your bench, the clamps are kind of prevented from falling forward. They're still a little floppy, but you can see that once you get everything firmed up, you can, if you wanted to, at that point, after everything's firmed up and clamped, you could undo the pipe clamps from your bench and lay this down. In fact, you could set it anywhere in the shop while it was drying. But I found that these worked okay just this way. This is really just more for illustration. I've done a quick SketchUp drawing here just to kind of walk through the ideas, maybe with a little more detail. Again, I just clamp a board to my tabletop and stick the pipe clamps in. You can see I snug it up against the edge of the top to keep them from wanting to fall forward. You could do anything you want. If you wanted more than one clamp, just drill more holes. Depends on how many clamps you have and how many you want. In one of these glue ups, I had some 6-foot long pipe clamps, so I could put another board down on the floor and they would hold very rigid. And so again, just stacked up the boards. It allows you then to get your hands around behind the glue up to clamp a caul in place to hold these flat as they're drying. Again, this is for illustration purposes. There's no glue on these boards. I'm just sort of showing you what the little process looked like. Just clamping both ends to keep the glue up flat, and you can put another clamp down the middle. It depends on the size, the width, the length, etc. But you all have done plenty of glue ups before. This just was so handy that you could get your hands front and back and really handle this with ease without having to slide it around, lift it up, etc. Here's one I did that I did little half lap joints, and this is a real glue up. These pipe clamps happen to be 6 feet long, so they're resting on the floor. This was a whole lot more stable than that illustration I did there. But again, this is super quick and dirty. But I glued up these boards, clamped them up in the pipe clamps, and then put a caul down the middle, a caul at each end, and came out with a nice little half-inch cedar panel. I'm going to use this in a door that I'm making just for out on the deck as sort of a center panel in a one-panel door. It's just a small door. I wanted the overlap of the half-lap joints just to, in time when the glue lets go and the boards shrink, being cedar and rough sawn, it still won't be see-through. So that's what this is all about. Again, cauls on both ends, caul down the middle, and it was very, very handy to have the C-clamps, or excuse me, to have the pipe clamps stand up straight, relatively rigid, and allow me to work all over this panel, getting to the glue on both sides to wipe it up, getting to the panel on both sides to clamp cauls. And again, once this was done, actually this one, because the pipe clamps were so long, I just left it clamped to my bench overnight and took the whole thing apart the next day. But simple little idea. Got this, I can't remember where I got this idea, but I thought, well, that sounds like a plan to go vertical instead of horizontal. And again, just scrap wood and a few holes drilled in it. So I hope you've enjoyed this short video. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed it, please subscribe. Thanks again.